the side of you wherein you hold all the negative attributes. So every human being has a positive side and a negative side, right? We just have to embrace it. We just don't have to push it under the rug.
There could be multiple ways to it. Maybe I can go to a job and earn some money, buy a car. So that's the one way. Another way is somehow I get that car. For example, I won a lottery. So this is a shortcut.
It's basically achieving any dream that you have. Could be as ridiculous as owning an airplane, owning an island. People have that. It's not that people don't have it. 'Cause I don't go. I'm just sitting in my own stupid shell, not growing from here. We will think, how do we grow, right? So breaking away and reinventing. A Volkswagen is a luxurious car for me, a luxurious sedan, right? So I'm thinking of Volkswagen, and all of it. But what universe has in mind is a Mercedes.
If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing to this channel and let me know your thoughts. Hello everyone, welcome to this podcast. And today we have Suman ji. She's a manifestation coach and she knows multiple modalities like NLP, Reiki, and chakra healing and everything. So we're just gonna talk about that for today. Welcome Suman ji, welcome to this show. And can you just tell me about yourself?
Thanks, Vimal. Thank you for having me here. So I am Suman Dash. I am a manifestation coach and I practice modalities like NLP, as you said. I am also a Reiki Grandmaster, Master Chakra Healer. I have done Zen meditation. I'm a sound healing therapist. I also work with crystals and I'm also a psychic reader. Spirituality, I think, is as such that once you get into it, it is extremely vast. So with an inquisitive brain, you just want to know more, learn more, and apply more. Exactly what has happened to me. So hence, so many modalities.
Okay. So which one you first started with? Is this Reiki or NLP? So can you just tell me a little bit about yourself, like your journey, how you got into all of this?
So this was after 2010. 2010 is, I personally believe I was genuinely born then, because I think my journey into spirituality started then. It was the year when my daughter was born. So post my daughter's birth, I started, coming to terms that I actually had depression. I think the postpartum depression just spiked it. But at that point of time, I had not realized, what anxiety is or what palpitations are, because those were the things back then we weren't taught much about. So I was unable to understand what was happening to me. Then I remember I was talking to a very close friend of mine, and she's also a healer. And I happened to have I had a panic attack then. And while I was on the call, so then she was the first one who said that, Suman, this is something that you could be battling with. Went for tests. I was diagnosed with depression, started taking medication. But after a month, I felt like that's not the path that I wanted to go in. So I started with basic breathing meditations and I started listening to Louis Hay a lot. I used to listen to her. I still do. And I frankly feel that everyone on earth should listen to her. She's just amazing the way she says things and how we as humans can, in today's world, we can relate. So that is how the journey started. After the first level of just breathing meditations, I learned Zen meditation. Then came Reiki. Reiki grade 1, grade 2 was something that I did. Chakras came in naturally because it comes with Reiki. You get a basic understanding of it. But I wanted to dwell more on it. So I studied a lot. I went into that world, understood what chakras are and how we can balance them and how we need to balance them to keep up with a good life and a good mind. And then I did my Reiki Grandmastership. And then, how it's very beautiful how universe sends your way people that you need. I met this half Iranian, half Indian guy, and he was a sound healer. I took one session and I was completely mesmerized. I learned sound healing then. This was through Tibetan bowls. So that is something that I did. Crystals was again a natural progression. And I was just inquisitive. I wanted to learn more and more and more. So I did that. Uh, yeah, and then in 2020, I did my automatic writing. So
Okay.
I became a psychic. I started connecting with, the ethereal world, with people who have moved on from this
Uh-huh.
realm to the other realm, connecting with your higher sources. And then finally, NLP was something that was always on my mind. I wanted to do it, but I was not finding the right kind of guru. But when I found
Uh-huh.
it was eye opening. It was really, really beautiful. So that's how the journey has been. But yes, when I started my journey, what I realized was the depression that I had was majorly because of a lot of childhood traumas that I had. When you have, and we might not realize it, but more or less everyone has it. When you
Mm-hmm.
have traumas that deep, there's a lot of work which is required, which you have to do, very to your own self. You have to work towards it.
Okay.
So there was a lot of shadow work which was involved. For those who don't know what shadow work is, your shadow self is basically, the part of you or the side of you wherein you hold all the negative attributes. So, every human
Okay.
being has a positive side and a negative side, right? We just have to embrace it. We just don't have to push it under the rug because it keeps rearing its head. Feelings like jealousy, malice, anything as such, can be counted. Anger, frustration, these are all your shadow selves. So, in shadow work, what you basically do is you recognize all these negative traits that you have. You think of it as a second person who's sitting in front of you and having a conversation and working
Mm-hmm.
towards it, that why do you have it? If, say, for example, if you have a trait where you lie a lot, there are a lot of people who lie a lot, right? But why do you lie a lot? Because you were not born with that trait, right? This is something that you developed on the
Yeah.
way. So there's only one feeling you're born with, that's love. There's nothing else. So if you have developed this trait in you, this so-called negative trait, it's still a part of you. So you can ask yourself that why have I developed this trait? So it requires a lot of journaling, a lot of inward work, introspection. So you keep asking and then you keep resolving. It's a long process. I think I spent close to 6-7 years doing it. So yeah, that has been the
Oh,
journey
okay.
till date.
Okay. Very interesting. So you started with the meditation, then Reiki, then comes to psychic word, then yeah. So there are a lot of things happen in your life,
Yes.
especially you're trying to fight in with your depression and things like that. So
Yes.
the one thing that I am interested right now, which is your shadow self, right? So can you just tell me a little bit more about that? And so this first time that I'm hearing this concept called shadow self.
So, as I said, we all have these negative traits and positive traits in us, right? And then we have a lot of uh, things that happen to us on a day-to-day life basis, right? And that affects us emotionally if we're not detached. So what happens is all of these memories, especially if they are bad, they tend are to get attached to them. And then over a period of time, it creates a lot of blockages. So I'll give you one example. I've had incidences in my life in my early childhood wherein these were really bad experiences, which I had completely blocked out from my memory. Right. So even if I thought that I would want to recollect them, immediately it would not come to me because they were so bad. And it
Mm-hmm.
happens, it has even met that it happens that whenever you have a very traumatic incident happening with you, sometimes your brain tends to completely shut down that part of memory. So when I started working on it, I came face to face with all of these, I would call them demons. So you come in face to face with all of these demons and then you actually process them. The first thing is acknowledge that they exist. Acknowledge that something
Mm-hmm.
like this is in you or has happened to you. And try to be impartial towards it. Of course, because when those memories flood in or when those situations flood in, it's very okay to feel angry, frustrated, sad. It's okay. Feel all of those emotions. As I said, it takes time. Feel all of those emotions, process it, and then go one step ahead every day. Don't stay stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just process it that it has happened. So acknowledge, process, and then start sitting in front of it and have discussions that why are you being so affected by it? What is in it that is making you so affected? And in a lot of cases, what will happen is a third party would be involved. There would be a second person, there would be a third person who's involved, right? Uh, Sometimes, as kids, if people misbehave with us, we tend to latch on to it. As kids, we probably might forget if we've gotten a bad gift, but we will never forget how someone has treated us. And during
Yeah.
those early times, it's very easy to form very strong opinions. Although people think that, बच्चे हैं, इनको समझ में नहीं आता है, but kids do tend to hang on to a lot of things. So just understand what these things are. And as I said, when there are other people involved, so there has to be a lot of forgiveness which has to be practiced. And that is,
Okay.
I feel, the most difficult part. Forgiving without getting a proper closure, without even receiving a sorry from the other person, it's very, very difficult. But you still have to process it, not for the other person, but for your own well being, for your own self. So once that process is complete, is when you start healing. And it's not just forgiveness that you have to practice for the others. Because, when a traumatic event happens to a child, what also happens is a child being a child takes a lot upon himself or herself. So they even think that they are culprits as well. So practicing your own self is the next major hurdle. But I think once that is done, once you embrace that this is me and completely unapologetically me, that is when you can start moving forward. But yes, it is a practice which one has to do, on regularly on an everyday basis. Accepting oneself the way they are without having any apologies is is very, very important. Once you embrace it, you don't feel sorry, you don't feel bad. You just want to do what's best. That is the only thing that you want to concentrate on. And you just want to grow from one day to the other.
Okay. So what I understood is, so this shadow self is being created based on your past events and based on not forgiving part of that. So the forgiveness is was missing there. Because of that, this part has get developed on top of you. And
It's
the thing
not,
that you
it's
need
not,
to do
it's
is
not just past events, but it's also, as
okay.
I said, it's also about the negative traits that you have. So say, for example, as a person, you are a jealous person. You feel that my friend has got a girlfriend. I don't have a girlfriend in my life. I'm so unlucky, and your friend has a girlfriend, so you keep thinking, that guy is so lucky. And that's how feeling hota hai, and you're not very happy about it. So you have to
Yeah.
first realize, acknowledge that you have that trait in you, right? Then process it that, okay, how frequently or how fast am I doing this? Am I doing it with every situation, or is it just pertaining to a few people? Then you ask yourself the question that, why am I jealous? So we go into the root cause of it.
Uh,
And that
uh,
is where we eliminate. So basically, you have to go to the root of the process. You have to go to the root of the negative or the shadow trait that you have. It could be a memory, it could be a trait.
okay.
Go to the root of it, why you are doing it, and process it from there.
Okay. Interesting. So where does this forgiveness part comes? So once we find the root cause, then we have to forgive something.
So, when I said jealousy, right? Now think of it as a big ball of tangled wool,
Okay.
right? When you process it, what has happened is you've completely untangled it. You see the issue still there, but all the strings are now detached. Now you can remove one string from the other. So I pick up one string. Okay, for example, I could go back to the memories. Okay, this is something happened. What happened in that? Okay, now I've recognized this. Okay, keep it. Did I have any control over it? I probably didn't.
Mm.
So then picking up, someone did something bad to me. Why did that someone do something that bad to you? Because probably that person also came from a childhood or had a life wherein it was so difficult that it made the person change. See, for me, it either happens in two ways, right? No one's born bad. No one's born with a sick mentality. Either you've been treated really bad right from your early on age, really terrible things have happened to you, or there is a problem of, say, a mental wiring while you were born. In second case, there is help available. You have to go to, proper chat through proper channels, doctors, psychiatrists, and all of it, and work it out. But the first place, if people have gone bad because of their experiences, I genuinely feel that they can be healed. They can be changed. We have never shown them that side, the good side of life or the beautiful people they can meet. They haven't seen that. So they don't recognize us. And I'll personally say, a lot of people might not agree with me, but the worst of the criminals, everyone's at the end of the day just basic humans, right? We need to work, we as a society need to come together and work a lot on these people, because that is only when we'll see that changes can happen. We have to practice inclusion. We have to practice love, giving. We have to practice oneness. So once we start doing it, genuinely, I feel that there'll be a massive, massive shift in the world. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, so as I said, you put each strength out. Forgiveness, of course, comes because even when you have a negative trait, you're blaming yourself. I think it's a classic thing. Every human does it. Blame yourself. कोई नहीं मिल रहा तो blame yourself. So forgiving yourself that it's okay if I have this trait, or it's okay. I'm human. I'm human. But I don't need to feel bad. Whatever is good for me, whatever is right for me will come to me. Having that kind of faith becomes very important.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely got that. So you're saying the self acceptance is the major thing that in order to
Yes.
live a fulfillment. Yeah. So what are the things which stopping people to accept themselves as it is?
I think it all starts from your childhood. How we were raised. The book that I've written about money, Abracadabra, in that I talk about money mindsets. When we talk about money mindsets, people have grown up with the thoughts like money is the root cause of all evil, right? And only when you do a lot of hard work is when you get money. These are actually all negative energies that you attach. And these negative energies, after a while, become behaviors. I'll give you one more example. When a kid goes to a preschool, he or she is given a elephant to paint. Beautifully picks up a pink color and starts, drawing the elephant pink. What does the teacher do? Suddenly comes and says, no, this is not right. The elephant is not supposed to be pink. Elephant is supposed to be gray, right? So what at that point is happening is the child does not know or might have seen the elephants on TV or whatever in a zoo, but still feels like, you know, want to paint it in pink. That creativity of that child is stopped there.
Yeah.
Right? So for a lot of kids, they grow up with answers like, no, don't do it. No, don't do it. No, don't do it. Right? And these behaviors from childhood, what happens is it makes the child create mental blocks for himself or herself. And once those mental blocks are created from that early on, it becomes very difficult or very uncomfortable to shift that thought process. People say, right, I'm now 40 years old. I've seen the life, I've seen the world. I have a set mentality. I don't want to change. Why not? Why can't you change? There are people who have been changing even when they were 90 years old. It's not that difficult thing to do. So it starts with your childhood, with how the society is. That is I think one very, very root cause. Your experiences, how you're taught to view those experiences or experience those experiences. One child comes from her class and she's failed the exam. Parents are very upset. Oh, we don't expect this of you, that of you. There's one more family wherein they're like, oh, tu pass to ho gayi. But कोई बात नहीं, हमारे खानदान में कोई फेल नहीं, मतलब सभी फेल हुए तो passing marks. So that is one. The third family is wherein they sit and understand that, okay, what do you want to improve in this? Having a dialogue with the child. What do you want to improve in this? What is it that you think, in your perspective, is preventing you from doing better in this? क्या problem? Is it writing का problem? Is it understanding का problem? You know, or is it कि जब टीचर पढ़ाती है आप समझते हो लेकिन आप भूल जाते हो या आपको समझ में ही नहीं आता? So what is it that is, having a discussion with the child, helping the child understand what is happening, taking the child through the process, but making the process a not non-stressful process. So in the third situation, basically what we are doing is we are training the child's brain to say that it's okay that failures are there, but can we introspect a little bit on it? Can we, take the child through process one by one by one by one, and then help the child grow with that path. And I'll tell you, this is one thing that we as a couple have, worked on our child on these lines. And I must say that the improvements that we've been seeing is amazing. It's really, really amazing. So I personally feel, not just by theory, but also by experience, that this is something that works. And this is how people should start behaving with their kids. Don't think of them as kids. Think of them as human beings and start having mature conversations. Kids are very resilient. They will pick on things. So yeah, childhood, people you surround yourself with matters a lot. Understand that everyone will have a bad trait, but do the good traits overweigh the bad traits, right? Hang out with the right kind of people. Do the things that excite you, because generally we don't. We, especially in India, we tend to just live for working and eating. That should not be it. I think time for oneself is very, very important.
Okay, so that's an excellent answer. So can we just talk a little bit about manifestation and what it is?
So, what does manifestation mean? What you tell me? What is manifestation to you?
So manifestation means to me is, let's say I need to have a car or I need to have a home. So I just want to bring that into my life. So there could be multiple ways to it. Maybe I can go to a job and earn some money, buy a car. So that's a one way. And another way is somehow I get that car. For example, I won a lottery. So this is a shortcut, something that I can achieve something. So is that actually correct? And I would like to also know that what is your definition of manifestation is?
So manifestation is basically achieving any dream that you have, getting any dream that you have. And it could be as ridiculous as owning an airplane, owning an island. People have that. It's not that people don't have it. So if they can, you can too. But manifestation is basically bringing your own dreams and desires to life, right? And one might think that, okay, I probably just have 50,000 bucks in my account and I want to buy a car which is 15 lakhs. How do I afford it? Right? Generally, what happens is people are pulled down, and we as humans, we have a very classic trait, I think. We tend to think about the negative things always first. They're always first, rather than thinking of positives. Okay. So if you have a desire which you want to manifest or want to see fulfilled, how do you do it? That process is called as manifestation. And, not just the process, but of course, seeing the end result of it coming to life. For me, the entire process is manifestation, because there are a lot of things that go into it, right from, again, acknowledging, rewiring your brain, practicing new thoughts, working towards it is very, very important. Yeah. So that's what this entire process is all about.
Let's say if I want to own an island in the
You
process
want to
of
buy an island,
manifestation. Yeah. So let's say there are a lot of islands are there, and if I want to buy an island, and it will be costing me huge amount, right? And I cannot even imagine how much amount that could be. So how can I start to acquire that? So what is the
So
process involved in that?
first figure out what is the amount of money that is needed to buy this island. Or maybe go into the core of it, that why do you want to buy this island? So why buy an island? Why not buy a country? Why not buy a jet?
Okay.
Why do you want to buy an island? Why not a piece of land anywhere, close to the beach or anything? Why an island? And if I ask you, do you genuinely feel you deserve to be the owner of an island?
Yeah. So that's
Like
no,
I'm asking
I
you
don't
right
I
now,
don't
do
feel.
you really?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you
No,
don't
I don't really. Yeah.
feel, yeah. So your basic thought process or your energy is actually acting as a resistance for your wish. For anything that you put a negative thought to, you will not attract that energy. For you to attract any form of energy, you have to completely clear the path of any resistance. And your thought processes are the resistances or the roadblocks which will slow your process down to reaching to it. Now, say for example, I say that, I want to earn 15 lakh rupees a month. I totally feel I deserve it.
Okay.
I want to live a beautiful life. I want to have all amenities with me. I want to have. But what I'm being here is, I am not being very specific in terms of कि मुझे तो उत्तराखंड में ही घर चाहिए. The idea here is, there is a quantum field. You know about it, I know about it. The quantum field, if we are this one person, there are multiple possibilities which exist. In that quantum field, if we want, we can even become a beggar. We can even become Bill Gates. We can even become Ambani's. We can even become Amitabh Bachchan. Whatever we want. Everything is possible in the quantum field. Now, what energy is it that we want to latch on and work towards? So that is what we get from the quantum field. And then we start building on it. So changing our thought processes. When we say practice affirmations, what are, affirmations is something, again, people would have heard a lot, and they say that affirmations don't work. Again, I'll go with one example, which is also mentioned in my book. 3 times in a day, I will practice the affirmation that I am open to all abundance in the world. Money flows to me easily. So my bank is full with cash and all of this and that. So I practice these positive affirmations. And I practice this for say 15-20 minutes. But when I go back from it, in a general life, I am thinking, "Oh, I can't afford that. That is so expensive." This is what my general thought process is happening. So what are you doing? You're making the conscious effort of doing those affirmations, but you're not doing a conscious effort of actually changing your thought process. So you have to observe your thoughts and you have to work from them. Thoughts are not just thoughts. Thoughts are your energy, what you exude. Joe Dispenza, in his book, very clearly writes, Becoming Supernatural, how do thoughts become your reality? Whenever a thought comes into your mind, so, you must have heard that every human being is made up of electromagnetic energy around us, right? So, where is this electro and where is this magnetic? The electro happens in here, the magnetic happens in your heart. What you started with the heart-brain coherence, right? So, whenever you think of something, a thought comes into your mind, there is an electric spark in your brain, which is called as the electronic energy, right? This electro energy passes down to your heart, okay? And your heart, along with, because of its magnetic energy, then they start producing this electromagnetic field. And I'll also give you an example of how thoughts become reality. Now, you think of any bad thing that has happened in your past. When you're thinking of it, it's just a thought, right?
Bad memories.
Bad memories. After you think of it for a while, what happens is the neurons in the brain, they pass on to your heart. So now your heart is also feeling the same, right? And your entire being changes. It was just a thought. In the beginning, it was just a thought, right? But now you're feeling sad about it. But now you're feeling down about it. Now, when you're down and out, you will only attract negative things towards you. Anything that is happening in front of you, you will see the negative side of it. It's like, okay, bad thought, bad thought, bad thought. It comes to heart, creates this electromagnetic space. You are as a body, as a human being, your energy is depleted. You are in the low vibration zone. Your wife is cooking a meal for you, right? You will see that, "Arey yaar, kya green tea bana diya hai? I don't like this food, this, that." But on the other hand, I'll give you one more scenario. A very beautiful thought comes into your mind, right? Your frequency, your vibrations are high. That passes on to your heart. Your electromagnetic energy is now, field is now, you know, of a positive one. You see your wife cooking. Green tea she is cooking. She's looking so beautiful while she's cooking. Oh my God, she does so much for me. Why does she have to cook? Let me take her out. Happens, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
it is how your thoughts changes your perception, how it changes your being. So everything starts from that particular thought level. For manifestation process also, you have to be very, very keenly observant of what your thoughts are. Because until unless you change your thoughts,
Mhm.
and it takes a lot of conscious effort, until unless you change your thoughts, you will not move ahead in the journey of manifestation. So that's the first thing. That's what manifestation is, and that's how you start with it.
Okay. Yeah. So that's an interesting answer. And now I know that our thoughts, which creates an electric energy, then our heart create magnetic energy, and when combine that, it creates an electromagnetic field, and which is enough to pull things to us. Like if it is a
Yeah.
lower vibration energy which produces, then it pull lower kind of things, negative things to us. And if it is a higher kind of like the positive thing, then it will also attract the positive thing. Yeah, so that's a wonderful explanation. I really go for that. Right. So correcting the thought, is that the first thing that we need to do in this manifestation process?
Acknowledging is always the first step.
Uh-huh.
Acknowledging that I have thoughts which are not being fruitful to me, which are not helping me in my long run, is not helping me in my journey. Because until unless you acknowledge, you will not be able to process it. First step is always acknowledge, process, and then take action towards it. Manifestation process does not mean that, you say that, again, I'll go by examples. I give a lot of examples. 12th grade student goes to an astrologer, right? The astrologer says
Mhm.
that you have a very good chance of becoming an engineer. You will become an engineer. And the student says, okay, I'm going to become an engineer. Why do I have to give my exam? I'll become an engineer, right?
Hmm.
Doesn't study for 12, doesn't pass his exams, can't become an engineer. I mean, enroll into an engineering college. If I say can't become an engineer, again, I'm limiting the thought. Of course, can recognize it later and do some things by himself or herself and become an engineer. But yeah, getting into a say IIT or IIM, you will not, right? You will have to put in the action. And you will have to put in the action in a very detached way. You have to leave it to the universe. So, say for example, I want something, right? Say I want to travel to a city or whatever. And I have a big, big, big list of things that I want. Some of those things happen, some of those things take time, some of those things do not happen. And I'm okay with it. I'll tell you why. Because the way I work, the way my thought process is, I have a very huge faith in the universe. Whenever I pray, and doesn't mean that you have to be religious, but you could have faith in the universe, any particular energy. I do a lot of, Shiv sadhana, I do a lot of Bhairav sadhana. So
Mhm.
whenever I pray, I say that even though I want this, but because you can see it from, the higher source of energy or the higher source of energy, you see that it is not going to help me in the long run. Do not bring it into my life. And I'm completely accepting
Mm.
of it. So I don't hold on to desires. I tend to let them go. That, okay, this is something that I want and I know it will happen to me. I have that kind of faith that if it is good for me, if it is for my higher good, it will happen to me. आज नहीं होगा, कल नहीं होगा, परसों हो जाए. One way or the other, it will happen. So it is how you think of things, how you process things. How does faith come into play? It's actually a mix of a lot of things. But when people start practicing it initially, it might look very overwhelming. It might feel that it's not working. But the idea is to just be persistent and to just keep working on it and not stopping at all.
Yeah. Okay. The thought is not alone will work there, but we also need to put some action into it. and
A lot of action.
this action should be, and this action should be in a way that you have to put faith in your higher self. And sometimes you think that I need this, I need that. So let's say, for example, I just said I need an island. So my higher self knows that for Vimal, the island is not the priority. So first you need to do these things in
Yeah.
order to get this. So those kind
It'll
of
be some money,
detachment,
not be able to
and
maintain it, etc.
maybe you need to first do 100 podcasts, then you need to make this money. And so he has a better plan. So we just need to put a faith on or the higher soul, right? So that's what you're saying. So the manifestation process is a kind of lifestyle too, towards how you see things and how you go behind your
Yes.
I mean, completely accepting these. So the manifestation is not just like, so I need this, I just do the manifestation things and I get this. It's not like that. It's a kind of
No, no,
lifestyle
it's
that
not
you
like
need
that.
to
There's
develop
a
over the
process to it.
period of time. Yeah,
There, there,
exactly.
there's, there, it's, again, I would not say that it's that jumbled whole ball, but yes, there are
Mhm.
steps to it. And we need to address one by one as we go ahead. As I said some time ago, that you need to believe that you deserve it. If you do
Mhm.
not believe, you are not giving out that energy that I'm believing it. If you're not believing it in yourself, you will never attract it. You have
Okay.
to have that faith, that belief in yourself. You should have the mental power of letting go of a lot of things for it. You should have the mental power of saying that, I don't know if it will work, but nevertheless, I want to give my 100% to it, right? And then let's see how it works out. Because the beauty of it is, why I say is that sometimes it's not necessary to have a very tangible picture in your mind that this is what I want. It might work for some things, but it doesn't work for everything, is because at times universe has bigger things planned for you. So say,
Mhm.
for example, I want to buy a car. I want to buy a luxurious car, right? But from where I'm sitting and seeing, um, a Volkswagen is a luxurious car for me, a luxurious sedan, right? So I'm thinking of Volkswagen, and all of it. But what universe has in mind is a Mercedes. So what am I doing? I am limiting myself to achieving that higher greatness, right? Concentrate on, if I have to visualize that I'm sitting in this car, how is it actually making me feel? How interiors can be, same colors or combinations, any car I sit, right? If I'm sitting in this car, what is the driving experience? What's for me, music is very important. How does the music system look like? Are there LEDs inside that? What songs is it playing? Who am I with? How is the entire experience? I would like to bask in that. I would even go ahead and say that what's the color of the car.
Okay.
But at the end of it, what matters is, how is my experience? How happy am I feeling? If I am
Mhm.
happy, if I am that happy sitting in a Honda Brio, I might as well have an Honda Brio, right? I don't need a Mercedes to be that happy. So Mercedes might represent class, might represent stature in a society and all of it, but that is not something that drives me. So I'm happy with a Honda Brio. I'm happy with a small car. I feel it's much, petrol efficiency is good, maintenance is easy, taking it out on the roads, Bangalore traffic, easy, I don't have to worry that, okay, koi bump kar liya to kitna hazaron ka kharcha ho. The bigger you go, the more you spend, right? Like, even if you have money, I would rather spend it on, things which are meaningful to me. So yeah,
Mm.
to each his own. I might be of a kind of thought process. There would be others who would be of different thought processes, would enjoy it. So yeah, more power to them. Rolls Royce, yeah.
Okay. So our thoughts really matters, and it might be limiting our manifestation capacity as well because of
Oh,
how narrow our thoughts are. Yeah. So that's so where this NLP actually fit in this all manifestation equation.
what does NLP exactly do? NLP helps us change our behaviors.
Okay.
The basic technique that we did in the before we started the podcast, right? It changes the state of your being. So, say for example, I'll again go back to the thought wala. Negative thought came in, went to your heart, all of it, okay?
Yes.
Now you are in that negative zone. What do you want to shift? NLP gives you a tool to shift. So these are like hacks. You can shift the state of your being. You can process your trauma is much better. Like the shadow work that I was talking about. I wish I knew about NLP's technique back then. It would have made the entire process much more easier for me. You still have to go through the process and work on it. But NLP makes a lot of things much easier if you know how to do it the right way. So, it's just one more modality, but it's a very, very strong modality that one can practice or get guidance on, and it helps their entire journey. So NLP is, I must say, one of the most beautiful modalities I have come across.
So the manifestation or goal achievement is something like a milestone, and in order to reach there could be daily activities that you need to put on, or the daily state that you need to be in. So the NLPs actually come to help you to become in that state, so that you'll get that milestone achieved. Yeah, we talked about the shadow self, and we talked about the process of manifestation, and we found that what are the importance of manifestation into your in a life, like how to achieve goals using this manifestation process. And we also saw that the NLP is a tool that which can help you to reach into your goal much more faster way. Is there any relation between the shadow self? Is that preventing us from reaching the manifestation process?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Shadow self is your shadow work or shadow self is basically the one which has a lot of limitations, right? So when,
Hmm.
again, I'll come back to jealousy because it's very, very, very common. If you're feeling jealous towards the lifestyle of another person or another being, what you're doing is you're basically throwing out negative energies. When you're throwing out negative energies in that direction of energy, it'll only go away, it'll repel, it'll not attract it to you. So if you worked on your shadow self, like if I was a jealous person and I have overcome it, now I recognize that, okay, just a trait, but now I've processed it. It's gone from my life. So I don't feel jealous anymore for anyone. Whenever I see people doing good, whenever I see my fellow mates doing very well, my colleagues doing very well, my friends doing very well, for the first thought is like, let's celebrate. This is beautiful. And let's celebrate not just because you've gained it, but also because you're enjoying it. Right? I would probably never congratulate someone who's gotten something but is not very happy about it. So when I
Okay.
see people who are genuinely happy about the things that they've got, beautiful, amazing, celebrate. But at the same time, if I throw out negative energies, then
Hmm.
I'm not attracting that energy. I'm just pushing it away. If I'm positive about it, I might go to a friend. Wow, you bought a new car, amazing man. How did you do it? Because we on same salaries. How did you manage to buy this car? I am unable to do it. He would he or she would suggest that, you know what, you need to invest your money here. For example, put it in this SIP, put it in this mutual fund. It'll help you, regain your money, or, money will grow faster. Is when you will be able to invest a car. Oh, that sounds like a good thought. So I go back, I start working on it, and voila, what happens? See, now I'm jealous. I'm not going. I don't like that guy. His money is the root cause of all evil. I don't know what he's doing, nonsense things, and he's bringing that money. He must be doing something wrong. If I have that process, I don't go. I'm just sitting in my own stupid shell, not growing from here.
Hmm.
We need to think, how do we grow? So breaking away and reinventing.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so that has a lot of answers. And one final thought: is there any relation between spirituality and this manifestation process? Because normally the spirituality is associated with non-materialistic thing, and the manifestation is actually associating with the materialistic things. Is that
Mm.
completely opposite things, or can we go together, something like that?
Actually, they aren't. They're not opposite things. They're different things for sure, but they aren't. If I want to grow in my this is a personal dream that I have. I know that when I'm 98 years old and still rocking, I would want to have a place wherein I can probably introduce a little bit of spirituality, a little bit of healing into people's lives and change their lives. This is what I want to do. I've recognized that I'm a light worker and this is my purpose in life, right? I can do it in any way. I am not attaching. But what I would really love to have is a huge place wherein I can provide basic amenities to people to come and sit there and practice meditation and all of it. You look at Sadhguru, right? He's a spiritual guy, but he still built the Isha ashram, and a lot of people are gaining benefits out of it, right? So
Yes.
everyone, and even if you've come on this earth, and let's be very practical. Let's be very very practical here. If I don't have food in my belly, everything goes out, right? I keep thinking that
Yes.
okay, I don't have food. I have not gotten anything to eat. Bhagwan will come and give me something, or the higher energies will come and give me something. No, it doesn't work like that. One, you have to, of course, work for it. Secondly, if you have your belly full and you know that आपके घर में भी खाना है, you will want to, if you're a little spiritual, you will want to put your energies towards building others because that is what spirituality teaches. Spirituality teaches us that we are all one. Vimal might be sitting 1,000 kilometers away from me, but even then, we are connected. All of us are part of this one universe. We are connected to each other in one or the other way. So if I can help someone, why not help someone? If I can be kind to someone, why not be kind to someone? And this can happen only when certain basic needs of ours is met, like food, shelter, these days Wi-Fi, all of these things are met. Because if these things are not met, then you're just, kind of you're turmoil, you're just entangled in how do I get these basic things done for me? You will not be able to think of your
Mm.
higher purpose. And then it's okay. We all are in our own journeys. Like there's there's no one who's very higher than me. There's no one who's very low than me. We all are very individual souls. We are here for our own journey, for our own growth. There's no competition here. If today I'm in a space where I want a good home, where I want all the materialistic wealth for me. There's even people like say, like how our sadhus have been, Sai Baba, Neem Karoli Baba. They didn't want anything. So they are higher evolved
Mm.
souls. I know if I'm that path, I'm in this path of spirituality. Today I might not be there, but maybe tomorrow I will be. There will be a time when none of these materialistic things will matter. What will matter, the only thing that will matter is my own self and my connection with the universe. And what my sole purpose is to, it could be to just help people. So then become people like them and then I start helping people. So realization will come whenever it has to come. And whenever it will come, accept it with open arms.
Okay. So, in order to be being spiritual, so you have to first get the basic needs, something like your survival things, like your food
Right.
and enough money to take care of yourself and your family. Then you can also even think about the spiritual or the higher
You can
kind of
still be spiritual then,
life
but
purpose.
you can still be spiritual then when you don't have anything. But even in that case, I feel that having your needs met is very important because once your needs are,
Hmm.
basic needs are met, then moving up from there becomes much more easier.
Okay. All
In
right.
Hindi, there's a saying. In Hindi, there's a saying कि खाली पेट भजन नहीं गाया जाता.
Hmm.
And even I again come back to you with an example. You must have heard of Jagannath Puri, right? Jagannath Dham, right? It's one very
Yes.
famous dham, and जब भी भगवान को भोग लगाने का टाइम आता है ना, whenever you offer the prasad to the lords and all of it, before that, the priests always go out and have their own food and come. Even before they offer the prasad they do not offer prasad to the deities empty stomach. Their stomachs will always be full. And after that they will and they have a very valid reasoning for it. It's like कि अगर हमारा खुद का पेट खाली है, so first of all your concentration कि I'm hungry. Your entire concentration is not on the fact that we have to offer the prasadam, right? that is one. Second is, if you're hungry and food is being offered to the god, so you will have, lalach there. Okay, okay, when can I eat this food? When can I eat this food? So the food, the energy of the food does not remain very pure. So the idea is, yeah, first fulfill yourself. You go in a plane, they always say, right? First wear your mask and then help the others. So first help yourself and then help the others. Because that way you'll be able to help more. Otherwise you'll just be burnt out.
Right. So that's an interesting answer. And so thank you so much for being with us today. And we
Most welcome.
started
And
with,
thank you for having me here.
yeah, so we started something like shadow self. Then we moved into the manifestation. Then we talk a little bit about how NLP is helping in the manifestation process. Then we just came to the spirituality and how this manifestation and spirituality and how this is related. And so I think it was very insightful for me because these are some new knowledge that me and I think my audience is also learning that from you. And we have
Great.
still a lot more things to unpack, something like you said, Reiki, chakra healing, sound healings, and meditation. And there are, I think, a lot more things that we need to discuss because restriction of the time. So that is a one thing today. So we definitely meet another time. So we need to talk about your
Absolutely.
books and a lot of things are there. Yeah.
Totally.
So thank you so much for your time today. So we will definitely meet with another session.
Thanks, Vimal. Keep being this wonderful person that you are. Lots of love.